Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Janice Lo. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. Hong Kong swimming sensation Siobhan Haughey misses her third Asian Games gold by a whisker. Officials get jabs as the government prepares for the winter flu season. And the Tai Hang Fire Dragon returns after an absence of 3 years. Hong Kong's Siobhan Haughey has bagged a silver medal in the women's 50 meters freestyle in the Asian Games. The 25-year-old was going for her third gold medal in Hangzhou after winning the freestyle event in the 100 meters and 200 meters earlier. She clocked in at 24.34 seconds this evening, just a whisker behind China's Zhang Yufei, who broke the Games record. Zhang's compatriot Zheng Yujie took the bronze. It was the fifth medal in Hangzhou for Haughey, dubbed Hong Kong's flying fish. More from the Asian Games later. Here in Hong Kong, hospitals are beefing up manpower and increasing beds ahead of the winter flu season. In a bid to minimize flu cases, the government has started its subsidized vaccination earlier than usual. Health officials visited a clinic in Siobhan Haughey this morning for flu shots. They included Health Minister Lo Chung-mau and Hospital Authority Chairman Henry Fan. Lo told the press the summer flu peak started last month and more people are at risk this time. So far, 141 adults suffered from severe symptoms, and 82 of them succumbed to the virus, he said. There were 10 severe cases among children, one of whom died. Most of the patients were not vaccinated, and this winter will be the first since the mask mandate ended. With the winter flu expected to be more challenging, the government is starting its vaccination subsidy scheme earlier this year. From today, eligible people, including infants between 6 and 17 months, pregnant women, and those aged 50 or above, can receive flu vaccines from over 1,400 private doctors. Hospital Authority Chief Executive Tony Ko said public hospitals have deployed more manpower in accident and emergency units and increased the number of beds. This comes as hospital bed capacity reached over 100%. The number of people seeking emergency services jumped to over 6,000 last week from a daily average of 5,000. Hong Kong's happiness index has dropped to a 6-year low, according to a survey which also found that over half of those questioned had suffered from moderate to severe depression. The benchmark compiled by HKIBC fell to 5.88 out of 10. After interviewing 1,280 people 2 months ago, the group found that the number who considered themselves unhappy rose 10% from its previous survey. Hong Kongers were advised to take breaks and pay more attention to their emotions. And the government was urged to focus on the mental health of caregivers, the unemployed, and youths. Overseas, U.S. Senator Bob Menendez has pleaded not guilty to taking bribes to help the Egyptian government. The Democrat left court after he was released on a bond of $100,000 US. His wife, who faced the same charge, also pleaded not guilty, as did 3 businessmen who were accused of giving the senator cash and gold bars. Menendez stepped down as chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee, but is rejecting calls to resign from the Senate.
I was just deeply disappointed, disturbed when I read the indictment. Look, I've known Senator Menendez a very long time, and it was truly, truly upsetting. But we all know that for senators, there's a much, much higher standard. And clearly, when you read the indictment, Senator Menendez fell way, way below that standard.
A judge in New York has ruled that former President Donald Trump committed fraud for years over the valuation of his assets.
At the core of what's at dispute here is these valuations created by different Trump entities and Trump family members. Who were they given to and for what purposes? And it seems, according to the evidence, that Trump and his organizations would systematically overvalue assets when it worked in their favor, and then they would systematically undervalue them when it worked in their favor.
Trump's lawyers plan to appeal, but the ruling is another blow to his re-election hopes. He has also been criminally indicted 4 times as he leads the race for the Republican nomination for next year's presidential election. An American soldier has returned to the United States after being handed over by North Korea.
I am not aware of them asking for anything. Doesn't mean that they didn't, but I'm not aware if they did. I'm just not aware whether they did or did not ask for anything. We did not give them anything. We made no concessions as a part of securing his return.
A military plane flew Travis King to a base in Houston where he will be interrogated. He was with a tour group in South Korea when he sprinted across the border to the north in July. After detaining him for weeks, Pyongyang transferred him to U.S. custody in China. Police in the U.S. city of Philadelphia have arrested more than 50 youngsters who went on a looting spree.
It's not fair. It's wrong. There's no law and order anymore. It's scary to come down here. It's ruining Philadelphia. It's not fair.
Following a night of violence, shop owners returned to find their stores in ruin. In an apparently coordinated move, dozens of young people attacked shops in the city. The looting came after a judge dismissed charges against a policeman who fatally shot a motorist. But city officials denied that the looting was triggered by the court decision. Trading in shares of developer China Evergrande and 2 of its subsidiaries has been suspended in Hong Kong on reports that police have taken away their founder. The suspension saw the Hang Seng Index falling to a 10-month low. Chloe Feng reports.
Just 1 month after trading in its shares resumed, following a 17-month suspension, the world's most indebted developer, China Evergrande, suspended trading again. Subsidiaries Evergrande New Energy Auto and Evergrande Property Services also announced a suspension before the Hong Kong market opened. No specific reason was given, but it comes after Bloomberg, citing sources, said the group's founder and chairman, HKIBC, had been taken away by police earlier this month and is under surveillance in Beijing. The China Times, also citing sources, reported that Haughey was absent at the group's last 2 meetings. The 3 companies had a combined market capitalization of $16.7 billion yesterday, marking a decline of nearly 80% before they resumed the trading last month. The authorities earlier detained some staff at its wealth management unit. The group last week also scrapped 6 creditor meetings scheduled for this week and said it was unable to meet the regulatory requirements to issue new bonds. Evergrande shares plummeted 19% yesterday, and its woes dragged the market lower today. The Hang Seng Index dropped 1.4% to a nearly 10-month low. Some local developers, however, gained on expectations that the special stamp duty for property may be cut following what market watchers believe were dovish comments by Financial Secretary Paul Chen. Chloe Feng, HKIBC.
Now let's take a look at the markets. The Hang Seng Index ended the day down by 238 points. To the top 10 active stocks, Meituan lost $4, Tencent was down $4.60, while AIA was down by $1.15. HKEX was down $6.60, while Ping An was down 95 cents. The century-old Tai Hang Fire Dragon dance has finally returned after 3 years of COVID. The resumption of the mid-autumn attraction brought crowds to Tai Hang. Before the dance kicked off this evening, the dragon was taken to the Linfa Temple for a ceremony to seek the blessing of the Goddess of Mercy. During tomorrow's Mid-Autumn Festival, the Fire Dragon will be paraded in Victoria Park at 10:30 p.m. Earlier, I met some Fire Dragon dancers to talk about the preparations. The spectacular Tai Hang Fire Dragon dance made its debut 140 years ago to ward off diseases. But the event was suspended for the past 3 years because of COVID. It's back this year, and for Almond Chang, it's extra special because he will be leading the dragon for the first time. The 52-year-old said it won't be easy because he has to shoulder all the burden. As leader, Chang had to learn the Hakka dialect for the worship ceremony before the dance. He also has to supervise more than 200 Fire Dragon dances. Despite the extra work, he's excited that the tradition is making a comeback. Previously, only men carried the 67-meter-long dragon, whose head alone weighs almost 50 kilograms. Because of the burning incense on its body, women were assigned other roles, such as being part of the music group.
I really want to be a real Fire Dragon dancer, but I also respect the dragon, I also respect the tradition. I believe because the Fire Dragon is kind of heavy for girls, and also it's kind of dangerous because the incense, if they drop on the skin, it could be kind of painful because that could make like blisters.
But times are changing. A 20-meter dragon will make its debut in Tai Hang's Mid-Autumn celebration. It will be paraded by women and youths. There will be incense sticks on the dragon's body, but they will not be lit. Formerly, the event was held only in the Tai Hang area, including Warren Street, School Street, Suncheon Street, and Wunsha Street. But this year's 3-day festivity will be extended to Tung Lo Wan Road. Known as the back garden of Causeway Bay, Tai Hang used to house car repair shops and outdoor food stalls. This store, a newcomer to the area, is supporting the Fire Dragon dance by collaborating with the bamboo craftswoman.
We create a lantern. Also, we have some t-shirt, tote bag. We have some pins also. Mid-Autumn Festival for Tai Hang people is a really big festival, even more than Chinese New Year. Also in Mid-Autumn Festival, all the family people will group together and meet each other. I want to make a wish for everyone to safely, healthy, be loved with each other.
Wang said some shops have donated money, but every store is contributing to the event in its own way. On to the weather now. Some isolated showers tomorrow and very hot with a top temperature of 33 degrees. The heat wave will continue next week. That's our main news for Thursday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Janice Lo. Thanks for watching. Good night.